Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the Book of Proverbs. It's a collection of wise sayings and teachings traditionally attributed to King Solomon. Although it also includes contributions from other wise figures, it is part of the Old Testament and serves as a guide for living a life that aligns with God's wisdom and principles. The setting. The Book of Proverbs was likely composed during Israel's golden age, particularly during Solomon's reign in the 10th century BC. This period was marked by prosperity, stability, and flourishing cultural life. Wisdom literature, it's called, including Proverbs, was an important part of ancient Near Eastern culture, and Solomon, known for his wisdom, sought to provide guidance for his people in navigating life's complexities. The conditions. The society in which these proverbs were written was one that valued wisdom and moral instruction. However, it also faced challenges such as moral decay, social injustice, and the complexities of human relationships. Proverbs addresses these realities by offering practical advice on various aspects of life, including family dynamics, work ethics, interpersonal relationships, and spiritual understanding. The audience, the primary audience for Proverbs, includes young people, fathers, and the general populace seeking wisdom. The teachings aim to instruct and guide individuals in making wise choices, fostering strong character, and developing a deep understanding of the relationship with God. Proverbs 18 in particular addresses themes of communication. And that's why we're going to be talking about Proverbs 18, because it's the communication of other-centeredness that we're going to be going over. The importance of wisdom in a relationship and the consequences of foolish behavior. In Proverbs 18, the focus is on the significance of words and the impact of one's choices. It highlights how a person's speech can either bring life or destruction, emphasizing the value of wisdom in navigating social interaction. This chapter serves as a reminder of the importance of careful speech and the need to cultivate a wise and discerning heart. In summary, the Book of Proverbs, especially in chapter 18, was written in a complex context that valued wisdom and moral teaching, addressing practical life issues while encouraging individuals to pursue a relationship with God and make wise choices in their daily lives. And so we're going to go straight to Proverbs 18. And, I love this because on our other center topic, we're basically learning in the Bible what to do and not to do. And one of the big things is how you talk to people, right? You can say you love people, you can say you care about people, but the way you talk to people and the way you steer your relationships through your word of mouth and either bringing life to somebody through your words and positivity, or death to them and negativity through your words, is something that's so basic and so foundational to really being other-centered and really, putting people before yourself. Like it says, believers are other-centered. They put, people before themselves, what we've been going over. And this is a big thing. Like, are you going to choose your words wisely? Are you going to be patient in thinking how to talk to people? Or are you just going to be selfish and talk to people any way you want to because you're you and you care about yourself more than other people? So here we go. Proverbs 18. An unfriendly person pursues selfish ends, and against all sound judgment starts quarrels. See, this how we started out. An unfriendly person is what? Selfish. So somebody that's not friendly with people, they're a selfish person because they're only thinking about themselves. And against all sound judgment starts quarrels. So they don't care about starting problems and conflicts with people because it's all about them. That's what they think. That's how it starts out at number one. Number two, fools find no pleasure in understanding, but delight in airing their own opinions. And once again, just hitting it off the bat, like foolish behavior, selfish behavior, doesn't care, doesn't understand, doesn't want to understand how to treat people. They're just going to air out their opinions. They don't care how people take it. That's one of them things where they say, well, he's just being him. I love his honest opinion. Well, somebody that's a believer, their opinions are based on God's thinking, not on their humanistic, fleshly thinking. Anytime you're just thinking through your flesh and just running off at the mouth, you're being selfish. You're not being a godly person. Number three, when wickedness comes, so does contempt, and with shame comes reproach. The words of the mouth are deep waters, but the fountain of wisdom is a rushing stream. It is not good to be partial to the wicked, and so deprive the innocent of justice. The lips of fools bring them strife, and their mouth invite a beating. The mouth of fools are their undoing, and their lips are a snare to their very lives. See, a selfish person, a foolish person, when they talk, they undo things, they undo relationships, they mess up stuff, right? And then basically what you say is going to come back to end up hurting you. That's what a snare means. It's like what you're saying, you don't care. At that point, you're hot, you're angry, you're revengeful, you're spiteful, you're bitter. You're just going to say anything and it doesn't matter, but you can't take that back, right? And that's what's going to put you in a snare, because those people know who you really are. You're this fleshly creature that only cares about themselves. And whenever somebody thinks that all you care about is yourself, it's like they lose respect for you. They lose the love for you, because they know that all you care about is yourself. And the only thing that's going to come out of you is a selfish behavior that's just about you and not about the community, not about others. Number 8, the words of a gossip are like choice morsels. They go down to the innermost parts. One who is slack in his work is brother to one who destroys. Is a brother to one who destroys. And that's deep. Just think of what it's saying. It's saying like you gossiping about people are choice morsels. People are eating that up. They love it, right? But then when it gets back to the person, then it's going to destroy. It's going to make you separate from somebody, either good or bad, right? Some people are going to agree. They're going to say, yeah, he was right when he said that. But now you're going to have to stand on what you said. Number 10, the name of the Lord is a fortified tower. The righteous man run to it and are safe. The wealth of the rich is their fortified city. They imagine it a wall too high to scale. Before a downfall, the heart is haughty, but humility comes before honor. To answer before listening, that is folly and shame. See, some people, in the middle of you conversating with people, you notice that you're trying to get your point across, trying to get to a mutual agreement, especially in relationships, husband and wife, or boyfriend and girlfriend, fiance, whatever you want to say. It's like you're talking, but sometimes somebody's talking over you, or they're not actively listening. They're just going to wait for you to stop talking so they could prove their point, right? So there's no getting together on that subject. So to answer before listening, see, when you listen and you get the full details, then you give an answer based off of the details that you have, then that's constructive. And you can move forward together and be humble together, right? The person that's not listening, that's going to talk while you're talking, that's a pride thing. They're saying basically, I'm more valuable than you. I need to talk more than you. You need to just be quiet and listen to me, because they're selfish. They're thinking it's all about them. And, everybody could raise their hand and say, yes, I have talked over somebody. I talked in the middle of their sentences, because it always happens. That's when the flesh takes over you. But the spirit is going to wait. It's going to wait, and it's going to listen, and then it's going to respond in a godly way. That's deep. Number 14, the human spirit can endure in sickness, but a crushed spirit who can bear? The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out. A gift opens the way and ushers the giver into the presence of the great. In a lawsuit, the first to speak seems right, until somebody comes forward and cross-examines. And isn't that so true? Whenever you don't have wisdom or understanding, the first person you hear that tells you the story could be your best friend or your family member, and you hear the story and you get on their side. You say, man, I'm on your side. But then when you hear the other story, then it's like a totally different thing that happened. So you got to have a full perspective before you put judgment on people, and before you change your mind about somebody, because that's even selfish, because you're so selfish that you're only going to listen to your side or your family's side, and then you're going to basically take their side and discount the other side. So you need to get a full circle of ideas before you start saying, who's right or wrong. Let's see. Number 18, casting the lot settles disputes and keeps strong opponents apart. A brother wronged is more unyielding than a fortified city. Disputes are like the barred gates of a citadel. From the fruit of their mouth, a person's stomach is filled. With the harvest of their lips, they are satisfied. The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Listen to what this is saying right here on 21. Is so deep. It's saying that the tongue has the power. So what you say has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. See, what you say good or what you say bad about somebody, there's people that love just to hear things, just to talk. It changes their opinion about people. They could start thinking somebody's bad or good just because of you. They could think that the day is positive or negative. People raise their kids like this, where they say negative things all day, and then your kid turns out to be an adult that's negative, right? Some people raise their kids with positivity, and it changes their life. So what do you want to do? Do you want to produce a positive atmosphere around you, or do you want negative? Because that's what steers your life. If you hate your job and you talk about your job all the time, then you're going to be in a negative environment every time you get to your job, right? If you say, I love my job, I love this, I love that, then everything you're doing is going to be a positive experience for your life. And this is what God says. He says to hope and think of prosperity, think of good things always happening, because then that's what's going to happen. It's like talking your future at your present level, talking into your future. What do you want? A positive experience, a life experience of good, or do you want to take a bad experience and a negative experience? So there's things that you can control, and your mouth is something that you can control to steer your life into anger and attitude and problems, or you can steer your life into positivity and good works, right? Number 22, he who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. And I like how it's saying, first number 21, then 22. It's saying basically like a wife that's saying good things to you, great things to you, living in your life. You found a good thing. You found somebody that's going to speak life into you. So now you have this wife that is with you, and you guys are bonded together, and she's saying good things to you. You're saying good things to her. So it's a good thing. It's a good relationship. It's a positive thing that's going to push you forward, right? But just think if you choose a wife that's bad, or a wife that has major attitude or major negativity all the time. Now, you can switch that verse around, because, it's basically going to tell you if you have a wife like that, you're going to have a bad life. You're not going to receive favor from the Lord, right? But a wife that's going to be positive and loving, it's going to be a good thing for your life, because it's going to keep your mindset on the positivity and also her mindset on the positivity. And when you guys come together, it's going to be a better life. You guys are going to see both of the angles of positivity, instead of, feeling negative all the time or saying down things, and one person's bringing the other person down. Number 23, the poor plead for mercy, but the rich answer harshly. One who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. And those are your best friends. And hopefully you guys all have a best friend, or somebody that's so close to you. It's even closer than your own blood relatives. And that's how God makes it. God doesn't just, put you in a family where these are your best friends. Now, they might, in your mind, you might think they're the closest person to you because they've been around you the longest. Some people trust people that they know longer. But this is saying like you could build friendships with people that are even closer than your own family that you were born, raised with, and been with your whole life. I just love this, and one of the things that I really didn't talk about, but I read it, is the part about rich people. And, when you're rich, it's not a bad thing to be rich, but if you're rich and you basically use your richness to control and be selfish, and you could basically use your richness to not give justice to people, change people's opinions about people. Even when somebody's poor, you could look at them and have no mercy for them or no grace for them. You're like, they're just poor, they're worthless. Only the people that are rich are good. And that's what some people do when they're rich. They only want to hang around rich people. They only understand the richness. They want their family to always be rich, and they're always trying to secure their best friends to be rich people. And rich people like that don't care about justice. What they care about is that they have enough money to get their kids off and them off of any trouble and live wherever they want to. Don't worry about helping people. Some people that are rich, they say, oh, homeless people, oh my goodness, like, why would I help anybody? It's their fault. But remember that Jesus came for the poor. Jesus came for the weak. And we are people that are supposed to love people regardless if they're rich or poor. That's not a concern of ours. But for you to only love people because they're on your level of richness, that's a problem. I mean, I don't see too many people that say, when they're poor, like, I only hang around with poor people, and I do know poor people that actually say they hate rich people, but that's because they don't know them. Once they know a rich person that does something good, then they're okay with it. But I do know rich people. It doesn't matter what a poor person does or anything. They just always think they're just a waste, and they're useless, and they're lazy. All right, you guys. Love you guys. You guys have a great day. And hopefully this Proverbs 18 will just hit you and let you know that being other-centered, you have to choose your words wisely. You got to speak life into people and not death into people. And that's what this is, Proverbs 18 is major about. It's about using your words correctly, building people up, not breaking people down. And when you're breaking people down and being selfish, you're foolish, because you're basically turning people away from God. You're basically, looked at as a selfish person that only cares about themselves. But people that build up people with their words and say positive things, that's the fruit of the Spirit. Being gentle with people, patient, love, joy, forbearance on people. So who do you really want to be? And it's time for you to change. If you're doing these things, if you're talking to people a certain way, if you're using vulgar language, cussing people out, cursing people, cursing people is you putting people down. You're putting like a curse on them, calling them poor, calling them lazy, calling them dumb, calling them young acting. These are curses on people. And so let's stop doing that, and let's start building people up. Let's start putting out the qualities of people and saying good things about people instead of bad. All right, you guys. God bless.